Hello there, welcome to the channel. Andrew's Collectibles here, and for today's random figure / random toy review, I'm bringing us all the way back to the 1950s with a flashback retro toy. This is Gumby. So Gumby here was created in the 1950s by Art Clokey, student at University of Southern California, and he based all these figures on people that he knew in his life. So a lot of people know Gumby from the Eddie Murphy skit on Saturday Night Live, but I remember Gumby from my childhood because for some reason I had a Gumby toy always around. Now, that doesn't sound super normal, but I don't know if I had that normal of toys as a kid. My parents gave me a lot of weird stuff, and I enjoyed it. So I've got one of the really old Gumbys here, and I've got his horse Pokey, and I've got the horse, or the guy that goes with the Pokey, Gumby, a better version of that figure here. So, cool thing about Gumby is it was all claymation. So claymation in the 1950s took a ton of work. So a Gumby cartoon, if you've ever watched The Nightmare Before Christmas, that took like 3 years to do. Well, that's in the I want to say it was the 1990s, maybe it was the 2000s. Correct me in the comments, but in the 1950s, I'm sure that took a heck of a lot longer. So this was really cutting edge entertainment when they originally came up with it. So looking at Gumby, looking at Pokey, there was their enemies were the blockheads. Yeah, and that was based on the troublemaking Katzenjammer kids. So I don't know the Katzenjammers. They sound like they were troublemakers, but who knows? I don't remember that far back because I was born in 1982. But if you look at these figures, the cool thing was, as a kid, you couldn't really break them. And you could do all kinds of cool stuff. It was very similar to Stretch Armstrong, but this was Stretch Armstrong before Stretch Armstrong. So this show was in 1950s, and then it came back in 82. It had a revival, so that's why I remember it so strongly, because I was 82 to 89. I was 0 to 7 years old. This was a show that I could watch, that my parents would have me watch. So it was kind of innocent and fun, and it was all based on he would go into time periods and observe events. So it was actually taught you some stuff as well. So looking at the figures themselves, which is the whole point of this episode, they're done up by Jesco, if you can see that. And you could do things. This one is not in as good a shape. This is more of a Gumby. He's not stretchy. He's just like, could do anything with him, and he goes back to normal. So he's okay. He's the older of the two, so I'm not going to beat him up too bad. He's an old man. But this guy right here, you can pretty much design him or angle him however you want, set him up, give him the splits, world-class gymnast, the high front kick, And then you could take Pokey, who was a talking horse, and I want to check this out, but I watched a little bit of an old episode of Gumby, and I can say that without a doubt, or with a limited amount of doubt, that his voice sounds the exact same as one of the characters from a Christmas movie, and I can't put my finger on it, but I'm going to have to look it more up, and I'll comment on the next video and let you guys know what I came up with, but it sounds very, 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 very much like, I want to say either like Rudolph's voice or something like that, but in terms of articulation, there's no amount of articulation that this guy can't do. You just can't close his hands. But you can bend him up. You can break his back. You can give him the splits. So he can do everything. So as a kid, as a young boy or girl, when you're playing with this, for a parent at that point in time in the 50s and when these were produced in the 70s and 80s, there was a lot of breakable toys. Anybody watching this knows Transformers were breakable, G.I. Joes were breakable, He-Man were breakable, but Gumby was infinite. So that's probably why I had it as a kid, because I was not nearly as passionate about keeping my toys in good shape back then as I am now. So my dad, in all his epic cheapness, probably said, you know what, I'm tired of him breaking all his toys. I'm just going to give him this Gumby guy, and that's going to be his go-to, because he won't be able to break it. So Gumby I got, and now Gumby I got again. So I took this figure out of the package. I found it thrifting like I find most things, and I showed my daughter, and she said, wow, Dad, that's really cool. And I said, are you kidding me? That's Gumby. And she said, yeah, Dad, can I have it? And I was like, no, you can't. Sorry. I said, you can play with it. I'm just kidding. I gave it to her, and she kind of likes it too. I think the concept is pretty cool. I think Gumby needs to make a comeback, because Gumby and Pokey, They're pretty cool, like cool looking little guys. And when you look at the figures that are out now, the Shopkins and the LOLs and all that crap, why can't Gumby be one of those? Why hasn't that caught on again? So, all in all, love these figures. Love to jump back in the time machine, both like Gumby did and as a review. So, that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me what you think. Do you remember Gumby? Do you remember Pokey? Do you remember the, what was it, the dinosaur that was with him? What was his name? The dinosaur. If you can remember the dinosaur, he was like a Sherlock Holmes detective. What was his name? Leave it in the comments. And there was another guy, like a gooey guy. I think his name was Goo. So let me know the name of that dinosaur detective. It's driving me crazy. Leave it in the comments. So stay tuned for more great content. I've got a lot of new pickup videos to shoot, some awesome new Transformer videos. And I'm really trying to jump the content here, get it really going, working with some new content producers and stuff like that to spice up my videos a little bit more. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great day. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.